So this is Governor Newsom in California, and he says America deserves better. And he's referring to the recent shutdown vote. The Senate votes 60-40 to advance a bipartisan deal to end the longest government shutdown in history, right? But 8 Democrats broke with their party to back the deal, which fully funds SNAP through September, but does not extend the ACA, right? The Obamacare, the Affordable Health Care Act. I want to show you what Bernie Sanders has to say. His basic read on it is that tonight was a very bad night. And let's listen to what he has to say.
Tonight, 8 Democrats voted with the Republicans to allow them to go forward on this continuing resolution. And to my mind, this was a very, very bad vote. What it does, first of all, is it raises healthcare premiums for over 20 million Americans by doubling, and in some cases tripling or quadrupling. People can't afford that when we are already paying the highest prices in the world for healthcare. Number 2, it paves the way for 15 million people to be thrown off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. Studies show that will mean that some 50,000 Americans will die every year unnecessarily. And all of that was done to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%. As everybody knows, just on Tuesday, we had an election all over this country. And what the election showed is that the American people want us to stand up to Trumpism, to his war against working class people, to his authoritarianism. That is what the American people wanted, but tonight, that is not what happened. So we've got to go forward, do the best that we can to try to protect working class people, to make sure that the United States not only does not throw people off of health care, but ends the absurdity of being the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people. We got a lot of work to do. But to be honest with you, tonight was not a good night. Thank you.
So just want to tell you the truth on this stuff, guys, and I wanted you to hear from Bernie first, and that's the truth. It wasn't a good night, wasn't a good day, wasn't a good vote to what you would have expected. I personally thought they were going to try to at least, negotiate them down to, hey, what if we extend the ACA for maybe 6 months or something like that, right? Because they were saying we should do it for a year. And I my personal opinion is I thought they were maybe just going to lessen it to like 6 months or something like that. I think the deal on the table is they're going to theoretically vote in a couple of weeks, but I wouldn't hold my breath. I'm just being frank with you guys. I want to have you listen to more of what Senator Murphy has to say about this.
The vote hasn't closed, but it looks like 8 Democrats have joined Republicans to vote for a temporary reopening of the government for about 2 months, but a bill with no protections to stop the coming healthcare disaster in this country caused by Donald Trump's premium increases, nor any provisions to meaningfully stop Trump's corruption and his illegality. You can see how tired I am. I've been here all weekend. I've been working throughout the past few weeks to try to prevent this moment. After the elections on Tuesday, it just became absolutely clear that the American people do not want Democrats to be bullied into submission. They want Democrats to fight for their health care. They want Democrats to fight Trump's illegality. Bullies gain power when righteous people yield in the face of their wrongdoing. I didn't want this shutdown. I want it to end, but not at any cost. And of course, I wish that there was a path to saving this democracy and saving people's health care that didn't involve pain. This shutdown hurt. It did. But unfortunately, I don't think there is a way to save this country, to save our democracy, without there being some difficult, hard moments along the way. The people came out on Tuesday in huge numbers, and yes, it was a referendum on Trump, but it was also a referendum on us. And I think there's going to be a lot of very angry people out there in this country. I know there will be a lot of angry people out there in this country, having watched just a handful of Democrats join with Republicans. And we still have fights ahead where we've got to be able to unite as Democrats. This won't be the only consequential moment between now and next November. But there's no way to defend this. And you are right to be angry about it. I'm angry about it. And I'm just going to get up tomorrow and go to work to try to convince all of my colleagues that this is a unique moment and the necessity to stand and fight, even when it's hard, even when it involves pain, is necessary, more necessary today than at any point during any of our political careers.
That was Senator Murphy on the situation. As I told you guys before, just tell people the truth on this stuff, right? I think that's the most important thing. Regards to, why movement now, I think personally it was the airline movement of all things. I want to show you guys this because this is sort of what was regular people were just saying, because I know not everyone necessarily follows all the politics of it, but listen to this. This was on a flight, and this is something that was happening just a few hours ago. I want you to listen for yourself.
I don't really care what your political persuasion is, but you should really call your senator. Because I'll tell you, this is costing the airlines millions of dollars. And just think of 30 airplanes with one engine running. And it's going to take us at least 90 minutes to take off. So it's frustrating. It's really frustrating for me. Because right now it's going to cost about 2 hours of our lives on the ground before we even take off, spend all that gas, all that money, and it just rolls into the rest of this system. So right now we're at a 4% reduction in flight capacity. Next week we go to 10. Last night I had a 6-hour delay in Houston, and the weather was perfect. It's because the air traffic controllers aren't getting paid.
So that was a pilot complaining about the delays, and I think that's really what caused the move in the Senate. Unfortunately, I don't think it was the health care. As you know, there wasn't a deal on that. I do want to show you, though, some real costs. This is someone who was sharing something. This is a Ro Khanna here. It says, this is what premiums spikes to for one man with cancer who is a taxi driver in Arizona, met his son. This is Ambetter, operated by private health insurer Centene. It's why we need to extend the ACA credits and fight for Medicare for all. And basically someone's sharing their health costs here. So I guess the 2025 plan, $44, 2026 plan, $2,619. Boy, it really went up. Deductible from $800 to $600, deductible family, $600 to $12,000. Jeez. Yeah, the emergency rooms, 40% from $0, et cetera. I'm just showing you guys this because real people are affected by this stuff. I mean, you can see the numbers, and unfortunately, I'll also just be frank with you guys, this also boils down to a class war. If people say that do air travel, business travel, or whatever, like, hey man, I'm having problems, you better get those airports open, right? And we talk about the airlines. We talk about it. I show you guys, people waiting in line and stuff like that. So there's movement there, but then I don't know, when I show people like this, some people don't care, right? They say, well, I don't use that particular health plan. My work is really good, so I don't care about everyone else. And I think that's a real shame, because if we thought of us being all connected, like think of a system that's good for all of us, not just, hey, good for a few of us and not good for the rest of us. I just don't think that's a sustainable or a healthy society. And that's sort of why you see these massive inequalities in the USA. And for some people who've only ever been in the USA, some people think that that's normal. But I'm just telling you guys, I tell you guys so many times, like around the developed world, it's not like that. It's completely not like that. And then this imbalance in society creates so many problems that you see in the USA, be it crime, be it violence, people, want to call it carrying it out, right? The Karen situation out at whatever stores or waiting line, people have fights all the time over stuff because they always think, oh, that person's cheating me and therefore I should cheat them. And, like you look at your fellow people as being adversaries, which is not a good system, because then you get busy fighting each other and not focusing on changing the system as a whole. This is something, though, I just want to be frank with you also. You can't get everything that you want all in, one day or 1 week. You have to look at this as a long process, right? And you just take it each election at a time. So the last election actually was a very good result for, if you want to push the country more to the, Democrat side, left side, however you want to say it. And then you look into midterms. I at the moment, all the polls are showing against Trump. People don't like him. People don't like the way the country is going. And unfortunately, though, it can't come here soon enough. He's still got a year to go. And this particular, situation right now with the shutdown and, the Trump's trying to get his big, beautiful bill and all that stuff into place, you're going to get a lot of people hurt. I'm just being frank with you guys. And you see where Trump and his administration is when they're like adamantly trying to withhold funds regarding SNAP and the food money, which is just absolutely bonkers to me. It's crazy, and it just shows sort of where their priorities are. So, I'm sure you're frustrated. I'm frustrated too at this kind of stuff, and this is where we're at. That's why I just show you like this is just a regular person's healthcare costs, and so some people are really gonna be affected by this stuff. And I'm just saying that's where it boils down to is, who are we fighting for? We're just only fighting for a few of us in society, or do we want to fight for all of us in society? Because I like I said, and the other thing that people maybe not realize, when you create a more fair system, everybody benefits. Everybody benefits. It is something that people don't talk about enough in USA, because they always try to scare you of like, oh, if we benefit everyone, it's bad for you. It's just not the case, right? And just to illustrate the extremes in the USA, you remember Elon Musk is like, hey, I want to get that $1 trillion pay package and build everyone robots and replace all of you. Like, it's absolutely ludicrous. That's why I always bring the Musk situation up, because it really demonstrates the massive imbalance in the USA, and the way that they get people to keep going along with that system is they fool you into thinking, oh, you can be just like Musk someday, right? You can be just like Elon someday. But it's all a sham. You can't be like Elon, right? Unless you're born with emerald mines in your pockets. And you guys can let me know, and you write in the comments, oh yeah, my family has tons of emerald mines. Please let me know. It is just an absolutely crazy system that we have, and I'll try my best to just keep exposing said things, and just trying to tell you guys the truth. So I know today wasn't exactly what you wanted, but it is not over. So don't just think everything just ends today. But certainly there's going to be a lot of challenges for real people on the ground. Just want to tell you the truth on that. So I do appreciate your time, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.